What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Hamilton. We out here with another interview. I hope you guys enjoyed the last one. Today we're going to be speaking to the director of House of Highlights. His name is Toledano. Dude is amazing. He's dope. If you guys don't know what House of Highlights is, House of Highlights is basically a media platform that promotes dope videos all over the internet. They have partnerships with the NBA. CJ has worked with Bleacher Report. He's worked with the Detroit Pistons. He's screenwritten for Jimmy Fallon, so he knows what he's doing. Just gonna hop on Zoom with him. Gonna get an opportunity to speak with him and just meet him. Not face to face in a way, face to face, but I'm excited to speak with him. But you guys stay tuned. Get some dope knowledge from a guy that runs a highly popular media platforms. So just stay tuned and enjoy. I'm glad that you allowed me to get you on here, bro. I've seen you all over the place, and I found you after the fact that I follow House Highlights and all that stuff. You know, always getting posted and stuff like that. But I wanted to find out like who was like running the show type of thing. So I had found you and just wanted to sit down with you and just get your questions, get some questions from you for you, and just get to know you, man. So I appreciate you for coming out and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we post your clips all the time, and I'm like, and I recognize the gyms. I play in a lot of those city parks gyms, and so I have friends. We had a regular run over at the Chevy Chase Center one, and it looked just identical to the one. I don't even know how to describe your dunks other than just like you're jumping, 5 feet over the rim.
Yeah.
Like when you're dunking in, like down, looking down in the hoop, it is truly the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Hey,
so,
man, this is hard work.
Yeah. And I've been seeing all the hoop bus and the just everything you've been doing. I love that you're doing these interviews. It's cool to meet other people in the industry and just trying to see what they're trying to accomplish and what sort of inspired them to do this.
Man, and that's love, bro. I appreciate you for like noticing like stuff. It's hard work at the end of the day, So for it to be noticed by people that like I see you as a high profile person with everything that you've been doing. I've done my research. Obviously, I've seen you've done work with like Bleacher Report, the Check Down, the Pistons. You did screenwriting for Jimmy Fallon, correct?
Yeah.
So I seen all that stuff, and you're listed as a screenwriter on Google. When I did all my research, so
it's kind of crazy. Talk about it a little bit, but it's like screenwriting it's the most like basic title, but with the way media and like with all the platforms being so easily accessible to everybody, like screenwriter or writer or director is just such a broad way to describe people. It's like, because you dunk and you get all these videos and you're doing interviews, it's like you don't want to just be called a dunker. Like, you're a personality, you're a person of the sport, like, and you're a host, and so like it's funny that that's what shows up, because like both of us, there's so much more to what we do and want to do.
Exactly. And I was like, that's why I went and did my research, because I'm always putting just like the dunker category, but then people look and they're like, okay, he's a D1 athlete, okay, he does interviews, okay, he does workouts. Like, it's much more than just what people see right then and there. So it's a blessing to get to know you, bro. I wanted to see how you got into media, like what made you say like I want to do media, and then just the process of getting in connection with House of Highlights and stuff like that.
Man, sometimes I feel young and sometimes I feel old when I tell that story, but like growing up, my 3 biggest influences were SNL, Saturday Night Live, 90s basketball, NBA, and Fresh Prince. Like, I was born in Marshalltown, Iowa, the only Asian kid in an all-white town. All my classmates were white, and like my brother and sister sort of warned me that, oh, they're just going to see as the only Asian kid. So I was like, man, and I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I was like, I need like a coping mechanism. I need a way to like, get people to think about me outside that box. And so I was just like trying to be funny, trying to be cool. So, and it was easy when I was like, just always trying to do comedy and basketball. People always were like, oh, he's funny and he loves basketball. And so I grew up in like my dad was a doctor, and he like warned me, goes, because he moved from the Philippines to America for those opportunities. And he was like, you got to have a job that you can provide for people. And I don't know if comedy was that to him. But then he saw how serious I was about it. And he said, you can do whatever you want, but just treat it like medical school. And so like we hear about people in medical school, and it's like, 10 years of going to school and just studying nonstop, losing sleep. And I was like, great. I'm going to treat pursuing comedy and the arts like that. I'm going to every day and night, I'm going to do something comedy, either studying it by watching it, or going out and doing stand-up, or making films, or just being in sketches with my friends. And so I moved to Chicago, did that for about 6 years, took all those classes at Second City and IO, because I was like, I want to be a TV writer. I want to write for the late night talk shows. And after a few internships and whatnot, I interned at Conan, and then from Conan I got hired at Fallon. But then that job at Fallon lasted like 5 months. Like I was one of the youngest. Someone just told me today I was one of the only Filipino late night talk show writers in history at the time. Yeah. And I was 23. And I didn't last very long. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I didn't get renewed my contract on that job. And I moved to LA, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I was just doing comedy here and there, and nothing was really coming up. I had a regular basketball game with a bunch of comedians and producers and writers, and I never talked about the business, but I was just like a nice guy, and people knew I worked hard. And there was a producer from Funny or Die who said that they had a partnership, a year-long partnership with the Detroit Pistons, where they were looking for somebody to do out-of-the-box, experimental-type basketball content to kind of put a spotlight on the Pistons. And they needed someone to move to Detroit for that whole year and do that. And so I went there, and it's like I had to create that job description, and I just did what I did best, and was using all the skills that I picked up from being a stand-up, from being a writer and a director. And then I tried to find all the best stories about the Pistons from the players, the teams, the city, and I just created content based off of that. And Bleacher Report saw me from there, and that was sort of the start of my sports creative career, which is I think I'm going on my 6th year of doing that stuff. But yeah, it's just like I always had a love for sports. I kind of realized in high school I wasn't going to make the NBA. Yeah. So, but I was like, I'm always just going to try to enjoy this the way I can. And luckily a few years ago, someone gave me the opportunity to literally use my creative skills to make stuff. And it's been successful ever since.
That's dope, bro. And it's just like, it sounded like it just kind of like was like a domino effect.
Yeah.
When you started doing media, and then you worked into sports, and then NBA, and now you're doing House of Highlights.
Yeah.
And you're the director of House of Highlights. Am I? Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I do a lot of the premium content for this. So whenever you see like an original kind of short film, that's my stuff. And then I hosted our first season. I was at Bleacher Report originally. Bleacher Report owns House of Highlights, and so when I was at Bleacher Report, the kid or guy Omar Raja, he founded House Highlights, and then it got purchased, and then he was just like another regular employee in his first year at Bleacher Report, and so was I. And we just we had a similar sensibility, and we sat next to each other, and we just became fast friends. And then Bleacher Report was like, we really want to expand on House of Highlights and go into original content, go into like its own show. And I was lucky that Omar and I saw eye to eye, and our manager Doug Bernstein, and he was kind of like, you guys are the guys who are gonna take this to the next level. And yeah, I mean, we're at like 18.3 million followers right now, and it's just like it's crazy to see its growth. And I love seeing we have a team of like 10 to 15 people who are just trying stuff on there, just using like the successes of what the account has been in the past and trying to use that knowledge to make new stuff to kind of further its journey. So it's been really exciting.
So how does it work as far as like having the account on your phone and choosing what to post and when to post it?
Yeah, so we got a programming team. I don't do that much of it anymore, but like when I see something, I send it to our guy. Actually, our director of programming now is this guy, Ben Gallagher, who I brought over from the Checkdown, because in between Bleacher Report, I was living in New York, moved back to LA. The NFL hired me to launch the Checkdown, which is essentially the Bleacher Report House of Highlights, but for the NFL. And so from there, I found this kid, Ben Gallagher, who we grew that account in my 1 year there from 0 to 250,000 with just NFL content. And so when Omar left, we were like, we need to rebuild this programming team. And we got my buddy who helped me grow that, Ben Gallagher. And so we then rebuilt this team, and what happens is like, yeah, we just have all eyes on every platform, from, you know, Twitter to TikTok. Shout out to Ben Gallagher, who was like, you know, where we could really find a lot of clips that people don't grab from is from YouTube. Like a lot of great creators from there, and that's obvious now, but like 2 years ago, you know, I don't think it was as much of a machine as it is now.
Yeah.
But it's just literally, it's following all the best people, it's following all the best accounts, it's being able to have that special eye to go, yeah, it doesn't look like highly produced, but man, it's just cool. Like, people need to know Hamilton, him dunking. Like, his dunking looks like crazier than anybody else's. Like, or they need to see the story of someone giving back to their community, or a player, you know, on their IG story, doing, you know, kind of just like showing that they're just like us. So it's sort of knowing those categories and those genres in your head, and always just being on your phone and being able to rely on your coworkers that we're never going to miss anything, and we're going to be the fastest about it.
That's dope. So this was actually a fan question. I put this up on a poll before I had got on here with you. But the most asked question that I've got it like 70 times, it says, how can a person that doesn't receive that much recognition get noticed and posted by your platform?
I mean, it's really just, you gotta just try to make cool shit. Like, just make cool shit, and don't be afraid to tag people. Don't be afraid to DM people. If you don't get a response from any of the people on House Highlights or any of these, you know, curation sports accounts, just keep trying, man. Like, you know, because the second you do get one on, you can go, oh yeah, this is the reason why it got on. And then you're like, how do I go about this at a regular basis? You know, it's like, before, like, I really love that, you know, sort of your category, and like, I love basketball influencers. Like, the fact that wasn't really a thing 5 years ago is wild to me, because people have their own personas on court, like their own ways, their own playing styles, and the things that they lean on. And it's the guys like you who go, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna keep evolving my thing, and people will notice, you know. And so I think it's trying to, like, finding your thing. And that might take a million tries. But once you find that thing, and then continuing to top it every time, is how you're going to keep getting on these accounts.
Exactly. And that's where I kind of feel like I've mastered, like, my environment and my platform. So it's like, I've interned with Adidas, and I've seen like how they choose certain stuff, or, you know, picking and choosing different things. But like, as I was growing, I've been growing very rapidly the past, I say, 2 years. I started off probably like with like 8,000 followers, and just skyrocketed after just thinking out of the box, making stuff that I feel like is cool to me. Because some of my stuff now, it's kind of more difficult for me now, because I'm used to how I jump. I'm used to how I dunk.
Yeah.
So I'll see something and be like, that's okay. But if I show somebody else, they'll be like, oh, that was tough. Like, you need to post that type of thing. Right. But just, I agree with you. Just making cool stuff, and just continue to do it. Continue to send stuff out. I do it all the time with you guys, and I appreciate you guys showing love and helping me, you know, build my platform.
Yeah, man.
You guys, and then, you know, you guys are well known, and I'm just trying to help get you noticed more also, because they see it as like, they see House Highlights, that's the brand, but they need to also see the people, you know, behind that's working.
Yeah, I you know, and I appreciate that. I never need to like be known. I just love that I can make stuff and I get to be a part of it. And like truly, and it might sound corny, but just like people like you and the fans and the community who are even just from just liking the post to sharing with their friends, and then the people who want to create it, like literally the account would not be what it is without you guys. So like when people hit me up and like interviews or like just want to hear about the story, it's like that's exciting to me because I want people to make sure they know that they are a big reason for the account being as big as it is today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. But I appreciate you, bro. That's really, I wanted to make this short and sweet.
For sure.
Just to get a feel for you, but I appreciate you taking time out your day to come talk to me and stuff. This is going to be dope. This is going to do well.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to say to anybody that's watching right now?
Oh man, I mean, just keep the same energy about what's out there right now. You know, I really love, again, like a few years ago, my job was like, curating content, sports content, you know, from just like trick shots and, you know, making memes and whatnot. But I love that I can go on a YouTube or an Instagram and I can see these personal accounts, these individual channels really thriving, where, you know, it's like, I feel like 1v1 one-on-ones are like a big thing right now.
Yeah.
And I love that, like, you know, Twitch streams are like 2K, not even just like glitch. Like at one time it was like, we're gonna run 2K glitches. Now we're just really running people playing Park. Like, and I just love that we're finding new ways. People aren't just like stopping the creating. So like, just keep, for anyone who wants to be in this business, find what you like about it and just commit to it. It might sound silly to your friends, to your parents, to, you know, anyone, but like if that's what you enjoy, take it seriously and it'll lead to more opportunities. Like, I'm a sports comedy director, writer, personality, and that is not a thing that I ever thought existed until 5 years ago. So I'm really grateful for that, and I hope other people can figure out ways to make it a living for themselves too.
Man, that's dope. That's dope motivation, man. Just chasing your dreams and just like hearing this from multiple people. Because like I said, I was interviewing Terrell yesterday. He was basically saying the same thing. Like, he went to a small school and then just blew up, and he's a Hall of Famer now, you know?
Yeah. So,
but I appreciate you, brother, for taking your time. You guys know what to do. Follow CJ. I'm going to have his @name, everything in the description. I appreciate you guys for watching. Take these tools, go viral, build yourself, stay motivated. Y'all know what it is. My boy Hamilton, we out.